More videos. Okay, guys, so I'm back again. I wanted to show you guys my favorite figure in the Transformers anthology. Welcome, Transformers Dark of the Moon. This is Shockwave. Shockwave. Now, there are multiple versions of Shockwave. There's the Transformers animated Shockwave. There's Dark of the Moon Shockwave. There's a two-head and Transformers the Last Night. They're using Shockwave's two heads. So this is represents the G1. I wanted to turn this Shockwave into the movie color Shockwave. It's hard to tell what colors he has in the film because sometimes he has a darker purple, sometimes I don't know, it's hard to see in the actual film. I might have to look at the details, more details on him. But Shockwave is probably one of the greatest characters, probably the best probably the Megatron's probably the third best in the toy line of Dark of the Moon of the Decepticons. Now you guys wanted to see this. I'm gonna put my camera down for a second. I'll be right back. So we'll be back. Alright, so we're back again, and we are going to take a look at the other two Dark of the Moon characters. I don't know if I can put them all on frame here, but here is most likely all the Dark of the Moon Decepticons. I don't know if you guys can see it, but here are the Decepticons in Transformers Dark of the Moon. If I can just pull my camera up, here's all the Decepticons look like. If I can just... Okay, so let's start off with this one. Here we got Megatron, the lead Decepticon in the Michael Bay's Transformers. He's the leader of the Decepticons. He wants to destroy Optimus Prime, and he wants to do and Sentinel Prime joins up with Megatron. Here's Starscream, Megatron's buddy, and we got Shockwave. And we are going to talk about each of the figures that were showed in Transformers Dark of the Moon. So we're going to start off with Shockwave. I'm going to do them by the scene that they introduced them in. I know that some Transformers reviewers don't recognize that, but let's start off with Shockwave. Shockwave is the Decepticon that Optimus and the other NES guys find. They find a Autobot engine part of a round. I guess it's a round because so we see this And his pet is Driller. I do not have a Driller. I really like this Decepticon. I really enjoy his. I really like his. I really like Shockwave in Dark of the Moon. I think he's a great character in the film. He's probably one of the greatest Decepticons in the third film. And you know, he shows up later in the movie when we see him probably 5 or 10 minutes, and then we see him again in the I think later we see him. I can't remember we see him in Chicago, and we also see him in the rest of the movie, and then at the end, Optimus kills him. So that's that. Alright, so let's start. Next character we're going to start off with is Megatron, the Decepticon leader of the Decepticons, the enemy of Optimus Prime. So this character shows up in Africa. And actually, let's bring in Starscream. I do not have Soundwave yet. I like to get him. I got Laserbeak too. Don't worry, guys. I want to put him in the frame. Oh, my poor master. Stir me, you gotta see a citizen. You know to our toe, which is nothing. And what news from our little assassin? Out of my dictionary. Just discover the art and return with the Chicago. You did me great honor tracking that ship to the moon. Now, it would have been cool if this Megatron was just a little bit bigger. Let's see how he... Well, I know he's the shortest of the characters. So later on in Dark of the Moon, we see these guys again. We see him in Chicago, and when Sam and Carly are trying to, like, Starscream shows up. I thought you was gonna work for us, boy. And then, I can't see. Actually, on the rooftop. And then later on, you know what happens in Dark of the Moon, and Starscream shoots the Autobot shit that the Autobots were not actually in. It was all a setup. So let's get back onto the video. Okay, so another happens in Dark of the Moon. Decepticons became the pillars. And then the next scene shows up. And let's bring in old Shockwave again. Let's bring in Shockwave. Now, here are all the Dark of the Moon characters. If I can bring in my camera. They are all the Decepticons. Megatron, Starscream, Shockwave. Actually, let me do it in this way. Megatron and Shockwave. Is that better, people? Yep. So we got yes. So we got most likely all the Decepticons from Dark of the Moon. Just only need to get Soundwave. Okay, so these two show up in, and then Starscream dies. Sam takes that little thing, stabs him in the eye, pokes him, kills him. He can't say, I can't see. Starscream dies. Boom. And then Shockwave, let's bring in Shockwave. He is a I already just said it already, but he shows up again. He comes back again, and we have I'm coming for you. The Driller and Shockwave shoots his cannon at Optimus, and Optimus Prime gets stuck on the wires and such, and he has to get away to fly to catch up with Sentinel Prime. And then later in the film, Shockwave shows back with the other Decepticons because the Shockwave and Soundwave barricade have captured the Autobots now. And then one of the Nest guys shoots a little thing on the back of Shockwave's head, and the thing they have to do is to get the Autobots back. Oh, I thought it was the arm that was messed up. But let's continue on what happens in Dark of the Moon. So, Shockwave has still the damaged eye at the scene when he's trying to shoot the Autobots. Then Optimus arrives, and you die here. And then Optimus uses Shockwave's cannon to blow the pillars. Boom, Shockwave's dead. So we got 2 Decepticons death down. And now we got the first leader in the Transformers. We got the first Decepticon left. So this scene particular, this figure, so this character, Megatron, he is the only character left in Dark of the Moon. The only character left that has not died yet. So Megatron sits and looks at Cybertron. You're saved. At last. Was it the worth it? Obvious. Get ready to me, slave. It will be me. It will always be me. And you are nothing. The B word, if you know what I mean. Megatron did not like that at all, so he has to go after Sentinel Prime. Optimus, unfortunately, is not handling Sentinel very well because he has his 2 weapons he uses. He's trying to beat the crap out of Sentinel Prime, but unfortunately, He kicks his sword out of his hand, knocks it off his hand, and then one of the embarrassing moments in Dark of the Moon, Optimus gets his arm cut off by Sentinel, and he's trying to do this, like, I can't remember which arm he was, like, doing, but it was like, he was like, and then he almost got Sentinel, but Sentinel unfortunately hit the damage, the injury on his arm, and then Sentinel almost cut off Optimus's other arm on the shoulder. And then when Optimus says, or Sentinel says to Optimus, "We were gods once, all of us." And Sentinel says, "But he," and then Prime, with one arm, he says, "Please." Just grabs Sentinel, like, "Please." And then Sentinel puts his shield down, and he has one more thing to do, and he does this RB1. And then guess who shows up? This is my planet. And then later on in the movie, guess what happens next? Oh, we need a truce. All I want is that in charge. Besides, who would you be without me, Prime? Time to find out. Optimus, with one arm, he takes his axe, cuts Megatron's head off, boom, Megatron is dead. Now we only got Sentinel Prime left. Optimus, all I ever wanted was the survival for a race. You must see why I had to betray you. You didn't betray me. You betrayed yourself. No, Optimus. And that's pretty much it on Dark of the Moon. The character's death that they show up in the Transformers 3. Now, I am only missing Q, Leadfoot, and Soundwave to complete my Dark of the Moon set. Because while I was thinking about doing with these figures, the movie accurate figures, I was thinking about turning them into making these figures into a stop motion movie of Dark of the Moon, because I was thinking about using my Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime, because I'm gonna use that for my stop motion movie, because the Jetwing Prime, I know they have a Voyager Prime. They have a Voyager class Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime, but I just don't really like how because I like to have my Optimus with a leader class, and but if we look at these guys again, I don't know if you guys can see them, but those are what they look like. And yes, Megatron, Starscream, and Shockwave. So, and then one more thing I was gonna say to you guys. So when I do my stop motion of Dark of the Moon, I want to do my very first. I'm going to use the Transformers Dark of the Moon, And then the next thing I'm going to use is I guess we could say like a poster, ad for Dark of the Moon. I thought you was gonna work for us, boy. Alright, so thank you guys for watching this video. I'll definitely post more reviews, so yes. So the only thing I wanted to do with my Dark of the Moon Decepticons when I get the... And then when that gets all done, I'm going to do one more favor. I'm thinking about getting the... I'm thinking about getting Age of Extinction Prime, just for the weapon. And then to put it on this Megatron, because on the Age of Extinction Optimus Prime Voyager class, that gun goes good with Megatron. And Hound will be good for the Autobots. And when I get the rest of the Dark of the Moon line, just only need to get the 3 Deluxes, Q, Letfoot, and Soundwave. And we are going to do another video, and I'm probably going to pose Soundwave into a killer pose. Because, you know, like, I like to have my Decepticons, I like to have my Transformers with poses based off of the actual pose that they're doing. So, yes, so thank you guys for watching this video. I'll definitely see you guys next time. Bye!